Hey there tech heads, I hope you all are having a wonderful day and welcome back to another video. Now as you can probably see, I've got a new TechPhD t-shirt and this was made by the wonderful people over at Create with Zoe. I'll leave links to their Instagram page in the description below because they make quality products at an affordable price. But that aside, today we're talking about the iPhone 12 Pro, not the 11 Pro like I mentioned in my previous video because sometimes I'm stupid. But nevertheless, yes, we're going to be talking about the iPhone 12 Pro. I was lucky enough to have a friend who got this phone recently and I was able to use it for quite a bit, and these are my thoughts. So my final verdicts will be at the end of this video, so make sure you stay tuned to the end for that. And with that said, let's dive right in. Okay, so getting straight into the iPhone 12 Pro, we unlocked this device using Apple's tried and tried Face ID system. Now, I do not say tried and trusted because due to the COVID situation all around the world, you cannot unlock this phone unless you take off your mask or use your PIN code, which is a little bit of an inconvenience. But moving on to the design and build quality, this is actually very stellar because Apple went back to the boxy design seen on the iPhone 4 and iPhone 5. And it does feel really great in the hand and it does improve your grip on the device. The other aspects of the build quality include the matte finish on the glass back of the device and these polished stainless steel rails. Now, I'm not really a massive fan as they do catch a lot of fingerprints, but you can fix that by using a case or a skin along the edges. Turning the phone over to the front, we're greeted with this 6.1-inch Quad HD OLED display. Now, it's covered by something Apple calls ceramic shield, which is meant to be 4 times more shatter resistant than normal glass. This is not my phone and I am not going to drop it. Consuming content on this device is actually quite awesome because it's got great speakers and that wonderful display that I did mention earlier. Battery life on the iPhone 12 Pro did get a little bit worse though because they did decrease the size of the cell. So on the iPhone 12 Pro, we have a 2,815 mAh battery, which is a decrease from the 3,045 mAh battery on the iPhone 11 Pro. This decreased battery cell combined with a slightly bigger screen and 5G serves to reduce the battery life of the iPhone 12 Pro. But the A14 Bionic chip and iOS 14 have been pretty optimized in order to ensure that the decrease in battery life was not more than 1 hour. So, moving on to the cameras, we've got Apple signature cameras here. There was no extraordinary leap over the iPhone 11 Pro, in my opinion, because most of the advantages or most of the new things here could be done by software. So there were no significant hardware changes. Videos are still awesome on the iPhone 12 Pro and you can record up to 4K at variable frame rates. They've got better portrait shots because of the LiDAR sensor and you still got your very consistent and very reliable, beautiful shots coming from all of the sensors, be it the main sensor, the telephoto sensor, or the ultra wide sensor. Now moving on to performance, the iPhone 12 Pro does perform very well as expected of any iPhone. The A14 Bionic chip kills it in every aspect, but the average consumer might not really notice these big changes unless they push the phone to the max or they run some benchmark settings because the A13 Bionic chip still does quite a lot right in 2020. Now when it comes to 5G, I don't really have a lot to say about it because there aren't really any 5G capable networks here in Ukraine, but I feel like it is not something that is a game-changing feature just yet, just right now in 2020. It's good that Apple did put it in there for future-proofing though, but it's not that big of a deal. Do not upgrade from your iPhone 11 Pro to the iPhone 12 Pro just because of 5G. It's not that big of a deal just yet. Now, the software experience on the iPhone 12 Pro has been awesome as expected of any iPhone. iOS 14 has actually been quite great and they've put in a lot of new features in iOS 14 such as picture-in-picture and so many other features that I talked about in my favorite iOS 14 features video, so you can check that out via the iCard above. Now, at this point, we still do not have any perfect phone. So with every Pro, there has to be a con. Some of the cons of the iPhone 12 Pro are the low refresh rate. We still have 60 Hz refresh rate on all of the iPhone 12 series phones, as opposed to most major flagships in 2020. So that is a bit of a disappointment. The front design is still the same, so we still have that big notch in the center of the phone, And I feel like they could do something about this pretty soon, because even Huawei have been able to introduce a 3D face unlock system into a hole punch cutout on their newest flagships. Another thing I wish we had on the iPhone 12 Pro was a bigger battery, but it's still okay. Like I mentioned, iOS 14 and A14 do a good job optimizing this device, but if you are a hardcore user, then you can very much kill this phone before the end of the day. And I also wish we had a better telephoto lens, because the 2x telephoto lens is kind of getting obsolete in 2020 as well. Even the iPhone 12 Pro Max has a 2.5 times telephoto lens, so an upgraded telephoto lens would have been better. But like I said, at least 2 of these concerns were addressed in the iPhone 12 Pro Max, so please pray for me that I will find someone who bought that phone so I can bring a full review to you guys as well. So my recommendation, should you get the iPhone 12 Pro in 2020? Well, I feel like it's a hard sell, because the cheaper iPhone 12 does just so much right. It's got a new OLED display over the LCD of last year. It's got thinner bezels, and it's up to 1080p now. It's got most of the same features of the iPhone 12 Pro minus the telephoto lens. So if you can't afford the iPhone 12 Pro Max, or if you're a fan of smaller iPhones, I think you should just go for the iPhone 12 instead. If you think you want to upgrade over your iPhone 11 or iPhone 11 Pro, or you want to skip last year's models and get this year's models instead, I've got 3 things to ask you. Are these your priorities? 5G, a boxy design, and MagSafe? Because these are the 3 new things that the iPhone 12 Pro brings to the table that you cannot get from last year's models. If you cannot live without these 3 things, then I would still advise you to get the iPhone 12 over the 12 Pro. It's a good device, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's caught in the middle a little bit, because if you want to get all of these well-rounded features, you can get them on the iPhone 12. And if you want to go absolute overkill and get all of Apple's best features, you get them on the 12 Pro Max. So the 12 Pro gets a little bit lost in the mix, but those are just my opinions. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please smash that like button, as it goes a long way in encouraging me to make more content, and subscribe, as we're on the road to 1,000 subscribers and I really want us to get there before the end of the year if possible. Also, make sure to check out our podcast, Tech News Nerds. All links you need will be in the description box below, and check out my previous videos as well. They will be floating beside me as they usually do. If you want to get any of the materials or any of the products I use to produce my videos, links will be in the description box as well. And yes, with that said, you stay cool, stay safe, wear your mask as always, because COVID has not gone anywhere, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.